Hey guys, we're at the 2-gun action challenge match today, and I decided to do something a little different as we tend to do. I was going through some of the original documentation from the 50s, 60s regarding Soviet usage of the DMR SVD rifle. And I came to find some information about, of course, they were embedded with a squad. While they were a DMR, they were expected to also be part of that squad and participate in squad activities. At that time, the scope, of course, is quick detach, still is, and you had to have a pouch on your belt that held 4 magazines and a little open pouch where you put your scope into it and you revert to your iron sight so you could join your squad in close combat. It may even be kicking indoors or going room to room clearing or going down a street where it's not a DMR rifle anymore. It's a mediocre close range rifle. It's not great for that, but it can be pressed into that service. Take the scope off, put it in your pouch, join your squad mates in whatever activities you're involved in. When you're back to what you're doing, you put your scope back on, your DMR roll, put your scope back on, and you're back in a DMR roll. Things have changed since the 60s, and now there's a whole myriad of red dot sights, 1X scopes. The Russians have actually, I think, have more variety of scopes than the Americans do. This happens to be a strike fire with an RS Regulate mount. It's just a regular red dot, kind of a copy of the ML2. Fantastic mount, by the way, by RS Regulate. But the Russians have the Recurs, the PKAS, etc. A whole myriad of those. But anyways, I put a red dot sight on it to make it 2015 and join my squad in a CQB roll at my match with one stage that's kind of a DMR stage. I'm curious to see how it's going to go. We'll let you know.
Shooters ready. Stand by. Spin!
Done!
You win! Alright, drop your bolt. Pull your trigger. All right.
SVD with a red dot.
Range is safe. 1389.
I think
wait.
you're going to win that stage, Carl.
There it is. Speed, precision, accuracy stage. This had, oh, and power. This had precision and power.
And
Original
speed.
barrel?
And
And
apparently
accuracy.
speed. Yeah, original barrel. NDM 86 with a red dot. Cool.
Nice work.
Thank you. This stage is pretty close range. I don't know if I'm going to need this.
Better safe than sorry.
Get on there.
Standard AK bayonet, right?
It is, yes.
And you're poking the ceiling with it.
Oh, we don't care about that.
Stand by. You have called. Nicely done.
Whew!
Right.
Not bad.
Very good.
This gun does bridge the gap between CQB and sniper.
You are set. Clear. Forward.
You didn't even need the bayonet.
Oh, I didn't use my bayonet. Wasn't that close, I guess.
42.
This is the perfect gun for moving through small, tight, confined spaces.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's why I picked it for this stage where you're crawling in and under sticks and getting penalties for knocking over sticks.
right.
So
Shooters ready, stand by.
it needs to make them that you never see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Hey,
Nice done.
all right.
Nice job.
Not bad.
I see clear.
Well, you pretty well cleaned house with that thing today.
Yeah, you know, this went really well, actually. You read all this stuff about the gun being pressed in either a DMR roll or a CQB roll. And so we tried that today. The only way you read this stuff doesn't mean anything. You gotta try it. And I'm gonna try some other matches in the future besides my own to push this idea further. But putting a red dot on here, a CQB sight as the Russians are doing now, or the irons back in the day, and we had stages today. We had one that was a 200 yards with a, well, 100 yards with an MGM spinner target.
And that's what, an 8-inch plate?
It's an 8-inch plate at 100. Now that's an 8 MOA target, but you got to have the timing and precision to spin it.
And you did it in 4 shots in 13 seconds.
3 rounds, actually. I fired an errant 4th round.
And you know what? It's not just you, because off camera I tried it, and I did it in 3 rounds as well.
Yep, you did. And so the rifle makes that possible.
Yeah.
And that's with just a red dot.
Right.
That wasn't with the PSO1 or magnified optic. So, but there's your DMR roll.
Yep.
Right? But then we had 2 other stages, one of which was really confined spaces, moving in and out between little underneath poles without trying to break or knock a pole over for a penalty with this giant rifle, and frankly was competitive with some of the guys shooting ARs.
Yeah, it works.
It wasn't
Not
great.
ideal, but
It wasn't
works.
great. Competitive. I could hold my own. And then we had another stage with closed paper and other stuff, and frankly that worked as well.
Yeah.
What I would say is this is not an optimal sniper rifle. It is not an optimal CQB rifle. It can be pushed very effectively into both rolls. It's more aligned to a DMR roll.
Yep.
But when you put that red dot on there, if you had to go through a room or clear a street or shoot targets 50 yards or in, absolutely serves the purpose.
Yeah.
Low capacity, still pretty good recoil, but you can do it.
It's a fantastic general purpose, do-it-all rifle.
That's the word. It's
Yeah.
general purpose. That's it. So a general purpose rifle by definition is not perfect for anything,
Exactly.
but pretty good for a lot of things. And I think that's where the SVD really does shine.
Yeah. I like the fact the bipod is very low profile.
It is.
Doesn't really get in the way all that much.
No, it's not the best bipod, but it's an effective bipod.
Yeah.
It's good enough.
It's mounted back on the receiver, so you don't get any barrel flex from it.
Right? So I mean, this bipod does come off. It just takes a screw and take it off. You can put it in your pack, put it back on when you need it. At our match, when you put something on the gun, it stays on for the match. So we left it on for the whole thing. It wasn't a hindrance.
Yeah.
The magazine, you know, the barrel's long. The mag's capacity is minimal. But in reality, it could be pressed into the roll. That's what we saw today. Now, one other thing I did want to note, this is a Chinese gun, MDM86. Some people say not a real SVD. Even if it's made by the Chinese, it's really an SVD design. It's identical to the SVD. But here's what's interesting. A lot of these SVDs, when they came in, did not have a properly drilled gas regulator.
Okay.
The 308s were always set to foul. Unlike the 54R, where you can turn it with a cartridge case, and you can set it to, you know, setting 1, which was normal, setting 2, which was fouled. Well, this is a lot of recoil for being set to fouled.
Right.
I found one of these regulators on eBay or something from the Russian Federation, shipped in a little bag of twine. And a Chinese gun, a Russian gas regulator from the Russian Federation, screwed right on and worked.
There's kind of a lot of suspicion out there that these were actually Russian-made guns that were remade.
I've heard that. I don't know. Either the Chinese copied it that well, that thread pitch, gas regulation, everything was exactly the same, or maybe they are Russian guns. I don't know, but that Russian part fit on there, went to setting 1, and the recoil was dramatically reduced from fouled.
Nice.
Just an interesting side note.
Cool.
So, yep, I think it worked. I'm doing more of this.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you like watching the SVD, because I don't think we'll be able to pry it out of Carl's hands anytime soon.
Nope.
No. If you did, make sure to subscribe, like the channel, tell your friends, and we'll be back in another week for some more InRange content.
Thanks for watching.